All right, you guys get ready to get rolling?
Yeah, let's send it down range.
You're listening to the Modern Dad Experience.
All right, you guys want to cheers in?
Clickety, clickety, boys.
Cheers.
Shit.
That's nice. All right, Jimmy,
Tasty.
hit us off with what's late and great with the Blues.
Let's go Blues. So
LGB.
I don't know if you know this or not, but we just won 12 in a row. That's 12 wins without a loss, which is the first time that we've ever done this in franchise history, which is super huge. Big Blues fan. I think we all are. And I mean, you know,
A lot of people waited 60-something years for that win in 19.
for sure. And this feels a lot like 19. We've been the best team since the Four Nations break, which I think right before that, all my college buddies started putting me on blast. I got a lot of Dallas Stars fans, some Texas boys, and shout out to them. I hope we see you in the first round. It'd be fantastic. You're going down. Yes. Yes, but I think it's great for the city. It's great. I mean, for me, for dads, I think it's like a morale thing. You know, I mean, your teams are doing good. You're feeling good. You get some of that energy from them. You take it to your household. And
Oh, okay. So you like a through line. You like a zest for life. You're just like, I'm gonna attack it. You know, they're attacking
Boom.
the ice. I'm gonna attack.
let's go.
it.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
get
look
it.
at that logo. It's the best one in hockey.
It really
NHL.
is.
I mean,
It really
can you
is.
right now?
Yeah, it harkens back to the roots of St. Louis. It's
Boom.
Great. Yeah. Nice. All right. We had some rainy days. How'd you guys survive?
Clubhouses, tag, soccer in the basement. I'm not sure. Gito? Some Gito?
I don't even know what
Guitar.
Okay, guitar.
I don't do well. Like when I get cabin fever. I need to like move. You know,
Yeah.
so I gotta have like some kind of a structure to it. So we put a bunch of ideas in a bowl, and then we randomly pull them out.
you're
and
talking.
we do those activities.
That's
That
cool.
gives me enough structure. I'm like, okay.
And
Well,
it gives equal choice.
So
too, to
okay,
people.
so I have a couple questions, which I love that. One, what was the best activity that you pulled out of the
Could
bowl?
you keep it down a little bit?
And two, was there an activity that you know was in the bowl that you're super miffed that you didn't get it?
Oh, that's a great question.
Did you load the bowl?
So one of my favorites was we pulled science projects. So we got out some things that we've had for a couple years, and so we did some fingerprinting and went around the house trying to leave fingerprints on something, and then
Nice.
figure out who done it, kind
Wow,
of thing.
that's pretty cool.
So that was fun to get into.
Some clue.
Yeah. And then what was in the bowl that we didn't pull out? We got them all in. We got them all in one way or
Okay.
another. Yeah.
That's good. That's smart.
It definitely took different paths that I didn't expect, through that journey. Like two of us went and did this thing for a little bit, but it was all good in general.
You got to mix it up.
Yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of the rain. I mean, I'd much rather be outside. You got so many more options. We had, 3 soccer games canceled this week. One on Friday, 2 on Saturday. So that opens up a lot of time, which is a good and bad thing, right? I mean, it gives you opportunities, but also, you got to fill that time with something. So Friday we had a couple of volleyball games. They were still on the schedule, so that night was pretty packed up. But Saturday, soccer gone all day. It was wide open. So my oldest actually had 2 birthday parties to go to, and my youngest had nothing. So
What you were describing to me earlier, it sounded like a logistical, like it was crazy.
yeah, one out in Chesterfield, like 1 to 3 something, then back near Crestwood area. From like 4:30 to 6, so a lot of moving parts. But we leaned on the community. Another family brought our oldest out to the first party and brought back, and then I kind of spur the moment. My youngest, I got a friend with her, and we went out and played laser tag at Amped
Nice.
Up, where we went
Nice.
the one time. So we played a little laser tag. And the whole thing morphed into a sleepover, which, sleepovers are great, and they're also stressful. They're great because everybody's got something to do. Not everybody's looking at dad and mom for attention, which is fantastic. But at the end of the night, trying to get everybody to bed is always a challenge. It's always, I think the older, because each girl had a friend over, but I think the older girls didn't go to bed till almost midnight, and you got to kind of monitor that, right?
Do you realize what you've done?
Right. And then, but I'm totally on point for spur of the moment. Let's make things happen. Let's be in the present. My better half is much more planned. So, yeah, I was talking to you earlier about this. At the end of the weekend, I'm feeling like full. We made it happen, but then, it creates all this chaos, all this scheduling and just everything. So, it's like, come Sunday, you almost have to just really recoup from that, all the actions that took place.
So for you, is it recouping, but also like still kind of amped up, like let's do something or not?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I'm always looking to do something, but on that same token, Monday's coming, right? Yeah. we got school, we got work, we got all the responsibilities back, and sometimes to get out of that fly by the seat of your pants and get back into that routine, there's some pressure.
That's a good point, because if you have a busy Saturday, a real goose egg of a day, you can appreciate the down Sunday. It can be a lazy day Sunday.
Yeah, because if you don't get it, you're like, you want it even more, right?
Yeah, because you're like, okay, I could do that because I know I got 5 days stacked up that I got to deliver.
Let me ask you something about the laser tag place. A, how many games did you play? And B, did you get sucked into the arcade or the ropes course or the go-karts or anything else, or did you stick to simplicity?
So we played a couple of games of laser tag, and we got there kind of around dinner time, so we ate after the laser tag, and then we played some of the games.
They got a full menu there? What do they got?
Snacks.
Not a full menu. Snacks. I mean, hot dogs, bratwursts, pretzel bites. I think you can get a pizza.
Typical laser tag food.
Yeah, okay. It's not gourmet by any stretch of the imagination, but decent enough. So we ate, we played some of the video games, and then we had to bounce because I had to pick up the older sister.
So when you played, did you play with other people or did you have a small group?
We did. I had the first graders with me, and there was like a third grade boy's birthday party.
Perfect timing.
So, I got a couple of first grade girls, and there's a mountain of third grade boys in front of us in line, like kicking eeach other and stuff, and I get it.
Right.
I got a third grader. It's a girl, but I get it. I've seen.
Follow me, girls. I got your back.
Yep, and they're roughhouse and everything. But I don't want to be the guy that shuts them down until they start like getting close and they're kicking each other, but it's getting close to us, and I'm like, hey.
Right, and you kind of got to get in there and get the
hey,
the game
fellas.
and get through it. You know what I mean? So you can get.
But the first grade girls were rock stars, man. I mean,
awesome.
Our first game, my daughter, her gun wasn't working, so for like the first 2 minutes it was catastrophe, and I'm like, hey, it's gonna be okay. We'll go find the guy. And I don't know if you've ever played laser tag, but I'm walking 2 first grade girls to try to find like the game master, and people are straight up like shooting me. I'm like, okay, you got me. Way to go. Like, I'm trying to find the guy. That's fine. I'm just walking
Excuse
through
me,
here.
can you help me?
Yeah, I got him again.
By the way, the game master is a 16-year-old.
Right? Who does not care at all? No, they were great, but yeah, he was in the other room,
hiding.
like on his phone, just like it.
Bothered that you had to.
Yeah, but we changed her out. We got back in there, and I tell you what, these first grade girls, not only did they have a great time, but super. Confident little things,
nice.
Walking through there, playing the game, and
That's cool.
it's good times.
Nice.
Good times.
Okay.
What'd you get up to? Anything in particular?
No.
Just little stuff around the house?
I had pretty good.
Had a birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, birthday. It was chilling, but it rained all day, so we didn't do much, man. Just kind of like those activities that you want to get done around the house, but kind of neglect, like a lot of stuff in the basement, crap, played with the kids, and just really relaxed. Went and got some pizza and some dinner, had a good Sunday, got a little church in, went to the pump track, that little bike pump track in Webster Groves.
Oh, yeah?
Right across from
What
the new
is that,
Brent.
inside or outside?
It's outside.
Okay.
It's made of wood and mulch. It's pretty cool. So if you fall off, it's pretty padded. But it's right across the creek from that new Brentwood Park.
Oh, okay.
That huge outdoor park. So right there, pretty close. I'm
I
trying to
gotta
think.
check that out.
It's really neat. So it's pretty. It takes some good balance.
Did you ride on it?
I did not. I brought my bike. I've ridden on it before, and it's not that it's not easy, but there's a couple little intricacies where you have to hit it just right, or you got to jump off your bike and fall, which is kind of good too to learn how to land that.
Are there other bike things like that around?
Yeah, so there's some great stuff out there. Like here's just a couple I was talking to a guy about while I was there. A couple I knew about, a couple he informed me about. So Bluff View State Park in Eureka, right at like 109 and what is that? 100. And so anyways, Bluff View, they got a pump track. It's dirt and it has little embankments and
Wait,
little
what is a
rolls.
pump track?
So a pump track is
Talk
where
to
if
me
you
here.
didn't pedal, technically you could use your gravity going down the little slope to get to the hill of the next slope and then down the next and pump yourself. You know what I mean? Like use your momentum, your inertia to go, and then you can pedal obviously, but the idea is you just keep cruising and going around this path, which is pretty great. The pump track in Webster was real short, but it's still a ton of fun, right? And the pump track, so I'm standing there and this guy goes, so have you seen the pump track in Chesterfield? And I was like, no. He goes, it's apparently the largest in North America. I was like, what, bro? Right. And this is what the dude just told me. I was like, what? Come on, man. It was serious. And he goes, here, check it out. It shows me a video, and it's just winding through. It's in, clarify that, St. Charles.
I think
It's really impressive.
I think my son would like it. It's like once they've mastered the core bike skills, it's like then look.
This is good for that too, because you can do striders on it. There was these two kids that were probably 3 years old on it with scooters, three-wheeled scooters ripping on. I was kind of, when I pulled up, I was like, great, these kids are just going to eat face. And they were just like, wah, ripping through it. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then there's a place called Ramp Riders, downtown St. Louis, in a big building, like an industrial building. And on, I think it's Saturdays or Sundays from 10 to like noon, they let the kids ride on their bikes on the ramps.
Cool.
So if you're not careful, you can get some air.
Because it's normally a skate park?
Skate park.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And there's like half pipes, and you can kind of get that feeling for, not obviously not going up a half pipe full tilt boogie, but, getting the idea. And then riding down huge slopes. The dude was showing me, his little guy got air on a strider and kind of like fell off and bit it, but it was, he popped up and kept riding.
Wow.
It's pretty neat.
That's the theme of life. Pop up and get back riding.
Yeah. So at
100%.
this pump track, Abby, my 9-year-old actually bit it bad, and it was on me to get her through this one section that's kind of like a little, I don't know what to call it. It's just a funky little spot. And I had her all the way through it, and then we got through it, and I was like, all right, you're good. And I basically let go and didn't push her into it, but let her go right into this terrible wipeout, right? So it's essentially my fault. Perfect. And she gets pretty scraped up and falls off a decent little section, and it's like, all right, yeah, she's clearly done. But about 10 minutes later, she'd gotten past, like, I'm done, I'm not riding. I tried a couple times and let it ride a little bit and let it go, and rode the whole thing a few more times. And I was like, what's nice about the track is you can stand in the middle and help them get around it.
Oh, cool.
So
that's nice.
yeah, anywho.
Wait.
Pump track.
Pump track. Largest in North America.
That's great.
Check it out.
Very excited. Very excited.
Let's
about
seriously go look at this thing in St. Charles sometime and report back on it.
So, burning question for you: what books or movies or something you consumed as growing up that was formative to you in your formative years that you that you either like want your kids to come across? And so here's what's behind the question: is I was very curious. I got into a lot of books that wasn't really normal for my age. And I'm wondering if my kids will ever like explore that kind of thing too, or if it's just like, it's a 50-year-old book, I don't want to touch it,
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, what books
kind of
or
weird books were you reading, man?
Well, I mean, some of the Jimmy mentioned pre-record was like,
Yeah.
Catch-22 or
Cool.
Catch,
No, okay.
Catch
I didn't know what you're talking
Catch
about.
in the Rye, and things that one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Did you like them back then? Did you enjoy
well,
reading it? Did you get it?
The theme was like the first pass. I was just I was like, didn't have enough worldview to know what was going on in this story or this
Okay.
book or the theme, And then a couple years later, if I revisit it, I'm like, oh, I get it now,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And it's not so much that I have one specific thing, other than maybe like everyone needs to see The Godfather kind of thing, but it was just the spirit of, I wonder if they're going to be curious of like exploring the past kind of thing.
And I don't have a ton of book background. I got like literally the Boxcar Children and the Hardy Boys. And recently, my kid Ivy brought home the Boxcar Children, and I was like, "Wait, what? This exists still? And they're showing it to you?" I thought like it was long gone or whatever, and whatever was out there now. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, who are these weird kids living in this boxcar? Like, what in the hell are we reading? You know what I mean? What kind of family morals are we like teaching them this? And it's pretty funny. So, anywho,
Nice.
that's all I got.
So you guys reading it together?
No, I kind of let her read. I still read to her a little bit. Like, there's a couple books we have that I will try and get a few pages in and then read to both of them and then come back to it. But not doing the greatest job. They usually read on their own. She does.
Yeah.
Or to me, a few pages just to kind of see how things are progressing.
Yeah, man. I think, and we talked about it pre-recording a little bit. I certainly as a young man, adolescent, books were a huge thing for me. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Catch-22, Slaughterhouse-Five. I mean, all those things. 1984. Just a bunch of great literature that helped to shape me. Now, having said all of that, I feel like, that all worked great for me, and I hope maybe my kids read it, but there's so much more out there now, and, being a male and having daughters, I don't know if those same books will hit the same for them.
Yeah, they won't
I
resonate,
mean,
yeah.
I feel like a lot of that had to deal with growing up as a young boy, a young adolescent male. I mean, Catcher in the Rye, all these books that, were huge for my life, but I hope that they have something similar, whether it's, the female version of that or, just the updated version of that. So I hope that they do. And both my girls are big time readers. They love reading. And so, whatever it is that they find that becomes those same things for me, I'll be super supportive of. And, I think that's kind of a rite of passage for everyone. You learn to read and you're reading, Spot does this and Spot does that. But then all of a sudden you get better and you start reading things that you're interested in and that start to define you.
Open the door, yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also fun when classic things get recut, and I'm thinking of the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, where it's basically the story of Odysseus recut into a movie that was fascinating to watch. I guess they'll get to explore things like that. I think Clueless is a recut of a Shakespearean play or something.
Clueless is?
Yes, dude.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's funny. Well, one take of it of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Don't insult Shakespeare too much.
Shakespeare, Clueless, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Shakespeare's pretty raunchy, so it makes, it all tracks.
Romeo and Juliet. How many versions of that have you seen or read or heard?
Yeah, that one constantly gets recut. And,
Yeah.
Is a theme or part of a storyline. Many. All right, you got any wins, losses for the week?
Church, I guess. Making it to church.
What church did you go to?
Yeah. You try a new one, or would you?
Yeah, so I've
revisit
just been
one?
jumping around checking out stuff around town. So this one was Twin Rivers. Got there for, I think, the 9:45, so the 10 o'clock. No, what am I saying? 10:45, so I made it for the 11th. And actually sent the kids over to the kids thing, right? Because normally I'll take them with me, and they'll stay in there, which is okay. They get it most of the time, but some of that stuff can kind of be, I guess, more directed towards adults or whatever.
So they're playing Jenga and coloring
Right.
and stuff like
No,
that.
and they weren't. There was they were watching videos and listening to people talk and then talking about.
There's a bit of a structure and a story.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went in there a couple times just to be like, what are they doing? Are they sitting down and they listening? I'm like,
Are they indoctrinated?
Yeah, did we sign up?
funny
Do I got to pay somebody?
Where are my kids? They're right
Show me
here,
the
sir.
footage.
So, no, that place was great. It's pretty cool. I'm impressed. I used to play indoor soccer there my entire youth, and then they turned
Oh,
it
yeah?
into this church. Yeah, so that part
Oh,
was kind
wow.
of interesting.
That's great. Nice.
Yeah, it's close by. It's the only thing I wasn't digging was I better be careful what I say, I guess. Just kidding.
Let's go bring it.
No, okay, I'll say this.
Before you
No,
share,
it's my floor. Just go ahead.
Will you yield? Yield for a question?
Go ahead, buddy.
Let's go Blues.
Everybody's got their
Praise the Lord. Amen.
everybody's got their preference on worship style or structure or whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's okay to have, like, you're not gonna find something that's perfect on every single. It's not gonna hit all 100 of your
100%.
of your.
That's
box.
why I'm jumping around too.
Yeah.
So it was weird because the first time I've ever seen the pastor not there, and the dude that opened it up was cool. He was there, and it was obviously fine. But then, like, the main lead pastor, as it said, was somewhere else.
So were you like, you're not really the boss? Like, I don't know if
No,
that's-
it
Was he
it?
like videoing in? Or?
Yeah,
Oh.
100%. But his background was Mars, which is kind of interesting, or some type of spatial background. And they're moving to, they're
Sounds
building
like
a
you
new
guys were
facility.
into some freaky shit
Wait,
this
the
weekend.
pastor teams meeting in?
No, he was on Mars. He's an
No,
alien
it
pastor?
wasn't Mars. The theme was like, this is eternal giving, right? This is eternal. What you're doing here is helping people for lifetimes to come, and for things that you're not going to see maybe immediately, but we're going to serve people for a long time, right? So it was about this thing they're building out in West County, a new facility, and I guess kind of making the theme of like I said, long-term serving, and it was like some planetary background or space cosmos background in a way. Like nothing, not like the guy standing in space.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it conveys, connection to the numinous, like
Exactly,
something
yeah.
that's very large.
Right,
Yeah.
a whole new like
of a
world
larger-
you're going into, like a thing they're building for the So it was, but that being there was kind of interesting. The message was great. It was clear. Like that was fine. I just not seen that before, because it's a bigger church, and I think they have set. There's 7 masses they were saying, which is or 7. Whatever sermons, whatever the heck you call it.
So how do they get paid?
Well, I'm sure there's all kinds of ways they get paid. I'm sure there's obviously tithing would probably be one of the main, but I imagine they have a part of the church system. They get some type of funding, right? Like most churches, avoid those taxes too, which is always helpful.
Sure.
I don't know exactly their income
You don't know
revenue
how it works?
structure, but I'm just saying, like, those are the top things I've typically seen how churches get paid,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So But
I was being somewhat facetious,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
also like we've touched on this for a
they
couple
ain't getting
weeks
my
now,
money, son. I'm just kidding.
and I've been relatively quiet. I haven't said a whole lot about
Speak
church.
up already.
I was raised Catholic.
Shut up.
Like you guys were both raised Catholic, right? You were
I was
Diet
indoctrinated Catholic.
Diet Catholic.
Then I broke out.
Right, and I
kidding.
mean, so I want.
sorry,
I'm
Jesus.
looking for a way to pass on the spiritualness, God, all the things that I really believe in, but I'm not sold on the church anymore.
I don't know. That's
Um,
why I'm looking around. I couldn't be with you
Right,
anymore.
right, but I,
I'm actually
I'm having
disenfranchised. I'm like,
right, and that's where I am, but I'm having more and more trouble differentiating.
differentiated. Yeah, this is non-denominational, by the way.
One from the other, right? Because at the end of the day, and I asked that question. how
Your
are they
God's
getting
not better
paid?
than my God.
Right. Well, for sure that, for sure that. But I mean, so how do you keep the spiritualness up, the spirituality?
Yeah, you want your
up
kids to know about.
without. Buying into a church. I mean, that's what
Well,
I'm looking for. And I
maybe
try
the
to
word
do,
buying in, right?
nature and all that stuff, but
I honestly think this. I think just trying to answer your question, and like what I'm looking for at the moment or seeking would be trying to find someone who can actually, who I can go listen to and want to hear speak and get advice from, right? Because that is a big part of it. You're going there and giving your time. As a kid, there was this like older person, which is just what it was, whatever, commonly, right? Which is fine, but it was a lot of scripture. The Catholic thing gets pretty hypnotic, if that's the right word, but it's like,
I think you're talking. It's so routine that it's hard to stay engaged.
yes. So this is a little bit different when they're rocking out. This is non-denominational, which I kind of like. You know what I mean? Like, and I was checking out the Christian church at the end of the street, Crestwood Christian Church or whatever. I've been to the one up the street that I actually know the pastor at, or he was the pastor. The door? No, up on East Watson. Anyone?
A church.
Southwestern Presbyterian.
There's a couple up there. No, it'll come to me. It's not a
South,
Christian, it's a
Western-
Christian church.
No.
Right there from the corner. But anyways, Yeah, I think it would be finding someone that you can actually be like, all right, like this sounds like you're talking to my level. I don't know how else. I'm not saying don't buy in because I don't plan on going every single Sunday, but how do they make their money? You know what I mean? Like like where do you give your time? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, raised Catholic, but
Like if
the Catholic Church is one of the largest businesses in the entire world.
I thought about giving an hour to charity instead. Like, should I take the kids to a charity on Sunday
and maybe that's the answer.
and give an hour and be like, no, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, it's not. It's more about
I feel
the
like
kids
that has more
and a
effect.
reminder for me is like just a morality
Keep them
basis.
grounded and yes.
Right. And I'm not against the Catholic religion at all. I'm just, I guess, looking for something different, especially as a lot of their hiccups from the past. And like, I don't know. I'm just.
First I'm hearing hiccups.
I guess I mean issues. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't necessarily need to go deeper into that. I think we all know.
Yeah, I think
Or whatever. I think it's fine. Like we still go to the Catholic church at the top of our street. St. Justin's great. I like going
went to
there.
the
You know
fish
what I mean? We go to the
fry's
fish fry too. We
fantastic.
go there and play basketball occasionally. Like I want to go there more actually. I was even thinking about one of the neighbors has their kids enrolled in it on their Sunday school. You know what I mean? The kids aren't going to school there.
do yours-
They're just
do yours-
enrolled at the Sunday
Do your
school.
kids do PSR or
They do
anything
not.
like that? No, mine
They
don't.
do not. But you know what I mean? So for an hour or something on Sunday or 2 hours, the parents get just a little window or a little break, right? And the kids go get whatever.
Man, I feel like we're getting into some like
Well, as dads, right, these are just a few of those things
some
where
real
time
waters.
can go.
well, I mean, we're hitting on. I mean, church's connection to the numinous, connection to something larger than ourselves, and acknowledging that we won't always be here for our kids. So, what will give them infrastructure to help them along in their path?
Money in the bank? I'm just kidding.
It won't though. Like money in the bank.
That's why I said I'm just kidding. I'm just being smart.
I mean, no, but I'm serious. Like you.
I
leave
agree.
them a
That's
pile
probably
of-
detrimental.
You give them a pile of money, and it
No,
won't,
no,
it
no
won't
pile.
help them.
Right.
It won't create any motivation. It won't create them how to
Right.
adapt through the world or anything like that.
Softer than it already is. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, these are big questions, and it's like we maybe have only figured out a portion of the answer for ourselves, and it's like, how do we
if it ever.
help with what the kids want around infrastructure of, I think of it as infrastructure of as I know that as I age, as I lose my abilities, like I'm gonna rely more and more on God, because like at the end that's all there is. You know, you won't have your faculties to take care of you, and I think you're trying to instill into your kids what is the truth you can go back to.
The origins of it all.
Yeah.
And what does that lead to? Yeah. Sure.
I love
Jimmy?
when we get deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I mean,
I'd look for someone that makes you laugh too, bro. Because like I went to this church and I was laughing out loud, and I was like, "Is this normal? Am I being a loud ass?"
Well, I mean, the purpose of a church
but
is
it was
that
great.
the purpose of a church is connection to the community of fellow believers that can help you along in your path, because in your path you're going to do this. God's truth will be here. You're constantly going to do this throughout your life, right?
Sure.
And it's to help you in that low, in my view.
Sure.
All right, other wins, losses?
oh boy, this conversation's over.
No,
Win.
we can go back. It's all
I'm
right.
kidding.
Well, in Lowe's, you can seek certain things to help you, right? And that can definitely be one of them. Like, you know what I mean? If not one of a few things, but what are those other things? I guess. Like, do you lean on family in a low? Do you lean on some type of belief of your own thing from your past? Like maybe you think about what your grandparents endured or something, or like.
We're a tribal people, right? We want connection, we want community, and we need aspects of the tribe.
Sure. Well, I agree. There's part of codependency in the world. There's also probably something really healthy to be said for like independent, right? Obviously, interdependence. But anywho.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think everybody's goal should be like handle your own business. Like get yourself to a point where you can sufficiently handle your business.
Well, then
not somebody else's business. Like maybe your family, your close knit group, but like, and then work it outward from there,
Yeah,
right?
I mean-
Because that's what you have the most control over,
Right.
right? That's what you can actually control. So start at home. Start with yourself. That's probably the most important thing you can do is figure
the
yourself
old
out.
adage too, right? You can't help anybody until you're Call 'em until
Yeah,
you're-
why do they
come
tell
corrected.
parents to put the mask on first in the airplane, right? Because if you're suffocating, you're not going to be able to help your kid.
Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. I think it's personal development. Like, you have to work and understand yourself so that you can bring your best self to whatever, to your spouse, to your kids, to your work. Because if you're not bringing your best self, then you're just causing more chaos in the system.
Yeah. And that's, I guess that can go back to being, and we can, I think we were talking about hitting on this next week maybe, or whenever, but the role of a dad, right? Or go ahead.
We're going to do a whole episode on that.
All right, yeah.
But I will say, I think we need to look into the correlation of the weather and the temperature of the podcast. I feel like we've been very somber and
It's overcast.
right, because the overcast has
days.
been raining for
That's funny.
7 days, and I feel like we've been so just I don't care what we do for the rest of it, but I think the end of this we should bring it up a notch.
Okay.
Like take some shots, jump off the couch.
Well,
What
we
are
should.
talking about?
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
taking
you should
shots
Tom
is
Cruise and jump on the couch.
Tom Cruise. That's hilarious.
risky business style. I'm just saying. I mean, I feel like this has been a serious, somber podcast, which is fine. We need some of those, but
It's
Yeah.
yeah. It's okay to go meta.
Yeah.
A little time or two.
You just let it
is
flow.
Meta? Is that Facebook?
No,
Let it
meta
flow.
is just like macro, above, outside yourself type thing.
Okay.
Is what I mean by that.
Semi-meditation.
I don't know that I use the word correctly.
I don't know that you did
Meditation?
either, but you said
If
Meta,
I-
and I was like, Facebook.
Yeah, no, I don't even think of it as. I don't.
You guys
think,
remember MySpace?
yeah.
Am I
course.
dating myself? MySpace, Tom.
What about Zanga?
Zanga?
You remember that? No.
I don't think so.
Interesting.
All right, where are we going to? We talking about stuff that's coming up.
Yes, stuff that's coming up.
All right, I'm gonna bang on. So, and you guys, I told you this before taping, and you looked at me like I had three heads. The Dad's Club, our Dad's Club poker tournament is Saturday.
I guess I missed the flyer.
Right.
Gotta
We're
have
not great
fire.
at flyers, but Dad's Club Poker. Let me just talk about this poker tournament. So I love to play poker. It's a passion of mine. I used to play a lot of poker. I used to play poker at the casinos. I used to play in tournaments. I used to play a lot, and then you get married and then you have kids and there's just not the same kind of time. There's not the same, that risk aversion.
It's not a 20-minute endeavor.
No,
it could go
it
forever.
could go for a long time. Yeah. So I haven't played a lot, but those are sacrifices I'm totally willing to make, right? I mean, I want to have a family. I want to be there, present for my kids and my wife. But ever since I joined the Dad's Club, which has been years now, I've been told that there's this Dad's Club poker tournament, and each year it got canceled. Every year it got canceled. Last year I had heart surgery. And this is a funny story.
In April, you're like
in April. It'll be a year, April 12th, a year out
wow.
from triple bypass. So,
Whoa.
but I got home from the hospital on a Tuesday, and last year the poker tournament was supposed to be, I think, that Friday or Saturday. So I got home from the hospital on a Tuesday, and I'm out walking. I'm trying to do everything because I'm thinking to myself yes, I made it. I'm home. I'm going to the poker tournament, right? This is the only thing I've been
You're
thinking
sick.
about for
You're
years,
sick in
right?
the
And I'm a
head.
sick person. Don't get me wrong.
Let me
And so I am gung ho. This is gonna happen. I'm so excited. I'm out of surgery. I'm on the mend. Maybe I'm not gonna have as much fun as I would if I, wasn't just out of triple bypass surgery. But so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell my better half. I'm gonna say, we'll have this talk, and I've been doing so good that I'm gonna go play poker. And I'm like, so the poker, I don't know if it was a Friday or Saturday. I don't like the poker tournaments this
You can get the
weekend,
words out of your
and I'm
mouth.
gonna go just barely probably. And my wife, who had just watched me have a major surgery. I mean, they stopped my heart, big deal, right? Kids, she had to deal with it, and me thinking this tunnel vision, God, this is so important, this poker tournament. And she's like, no way. And I'm like, and so a huge fight ensues. And literally, after this fight, I get the text or the email that the poker tournament's canceled.
Yeah.
So all of this happened. Like I could have just shut my mouth and waited, and none of this strife or any of it would have happened. But I mean, like that, and I'm here to say that I'm ashamed that was my focus, right? I mean, I'm over here. I'm supposed to be getting better, like, you know, all these things. But you know, the bachelor, the old dog in me, the young boy.
Learn from it,
right?
so it's
Like,
not a complete loss.
Exactly. But like, so this year it's actually happening, and it's
well, next year or next week we'll be able to confirm.
well, we will be able to. Yeah,
we'll have that action.
there is a possibility that it'll get canceled because for whatever reason,
right.
every year it's happened. But super excited to go, and the girls are all taken care of for that weekend, which is fantastic. So I can actually go, and I'm sure that I will probably go out like first, second hand. You know, I haven't played in so long, and I'm super excited for it. But yeah, so Dad's Club Poker Tournament Saturday. Hope you guys are there. Super fun time, I hear. But I've never had a bad time at a poker tournament. So, and that it's at the original president of the Dad's Club's house is who's having it.
The once every 5 years annual poker tournament.
Yes, once every 5 years annual. Very excited.
On another high note, we got a froth tournament coming up.
Frisbee golf, the Crestwood Park Frisbee golf tournament.
This thing is just growing. Every time we talk about it, there's more activities.
Yes, there are.
So hold on, let me stop you right. If you're in town and you don't come to this thing, like, come on, man. You can meet us. It's presented by the Modern Dads Experience.
Yeah, you take it. You take it today.
It's presented by the Modern Dads Experience, the Long's Dads Club. So if you're in town and you watch us for whatever reason, show up because we might do some filming there. We might
should.
put some. Yeah, I think we definitely will do some filming there.
We'll
If
be
you have
open
any
to
questions
topics.
if you have any questions for us, it'd be a great time to meet us. And Steve Ewing
Steve Ewing will be there
of
ripping
the
it.
Urge is going to be ripping it up.
3 hours of Steve Ewing.
We're going to have some
and a
delicious
buddy of his.
barbecue.
There's 2 guys playing live
Yep,
too.
the Steve Ewing duo. We're going to have beer from Blue Jay Brewing,
Boom.
who's also a dad in the neighborhood, former Long Dads Club member, and
Award-winning brewer here in St. Louis.
right. And we got
Crushing
to.
it. Did you see the article that just came out
I
about
did
it like
not.
a week ago?
I
like
did
2
not, but
3 days
I
ago?
bet it's
It's
fantastic.
flipping amazing.
Yeah, and we're gonna have this park right by our house, locked up for a day, and we're gonna just enjoy the heck
I
out
think
of
the
it.
scouts are going to do a bonfire for those who stay late.
Can't wait.
Sunset will be sweet. It's going to be amazing.
Crestwood is a crown jewel
So amazing.
because it's so close.
The
to our
park, you
house.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
well, Crestwood as a town, but also
Sure.
Crestwood Park because it's got that great hill.
There's no signs for it
Beautiful sunset.
outside of here. You ever notice that?
They just redid the playground.
Oh, it'll be ready.
You've got
Frisbee golf.
You've got like 8 hours of different activities to do. It's gonna be
All
great.
kinds of access points in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? There's like 5 ways to get in, but no signs outside of the neighborhoods either. So nobody knows it's there. It's like a little
our
hidden
gem.
gem. People think it's probably part of the school.
Yeah,
Part of Long or
for
whatever.
sure. Backs up to it.
Yeah, the playground will be sick. I talked to the guys who are building that playground there, and they built the one in Ferguson. If you haven't been in the one in Ferguson, it's like a Taj Mahal of playgrounds.
Really?
Better.
Yeah,
than
after the
ours.
unfortunate situation, it's just like ours. When I saw the model, the renderings where they let us vote, I was like, that's the Ferguson playground.
Is that right?
And when I talked to him, he goes, yeah, we built the one in Ferguson. He goes, have you ever been in the one in something Flats? And I was like, where is this? I've never heard of anything Flats around.
Here.
And this is out in West County-ish, right? And he goes, that one. He was like, that Ferguson, that one, and yours, Crestwood here, is like the biggest ones we built.
It's so fascinating because it's the exact same footprint, but there's so much more to do.
Oh my goodness.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
All right, we've got some fun things to look forward to.
Yeah, if you know anybody that plays Frisbee golf, if you like Frisbee golf, anything about Frisbee golf.
May
Kids,
21st.
17.
How dare you? May 18th.
I just making sure you're
I was
paying
closer.
attention.
Get this man a drink.
$1, Bob. $1.
What was on the 21st? Something
You were over and I was under.
There
That's
we go.
we're going to be thinking about it until that much longer after the event. We're going to be like,
But I
wow,
mean,
that
we're
was the best.
close. We were like super close.
No, we're over a month away. We got
That's
all kinds of
super
time.
close.
Spread the flipping word.
Spread the word. Come see us.
Frisbee
Cheers.
golf.
Cheers. Cliggity, cliggity.
Whoop.